Hi there, it's Anthony, and it's time for another reaction to Lucifer. So, this is Season 2, Episode 8, titled Trip to Stabby Town. Now that definitely sounds like something that Lucifer would say, so I'm looking forward to seeing under what circumstances he decides to use that phrase. Obviously somebody's getting stabbed in this episode, stabbed, shanked, whatever you want to call it, so looking forward to seeing what's going to go down. Last episode, we took a little bit of a step away from the Lucifer, Amenadiel mom side of things to kind of focus in on Chloe and her father and her backstory and learn a little bit more about that. So I'm interested to see what direction they're going to take us in this episode. So let's go ahead and get into it. This is Lucifer Season 2, Episode 8, Trip to Stabby Town. I don't know why I just did that. What a cheerful opening. Means the episode must be about to be depressing as heck. Yep. I guess she's about to get stabbed. She took a trip to Stabby Town, alright. This guy really is going after her. Like, he clearly has a vendetta against her specifically. Oh my gosh.
It's you?
Yeah, she knows him apparently.
You totally worked this out.
Wow. Yeah, now that was a trip to Stabby Town if I've ever seen one.
How did you actually torture Hitler in hell? I mean, is his cell next to Idi Amin's or Mussolini's?
So did she just get over the shock and fear and now she's just interested in his methods for torturing various people of human history?
Scared you off for good?
Yes, well, Maze, of all people, well, of all demons, gave me some needed clarity.
Makes sense.
Did she now?
Her getting, over the hump with Maze is now helping her connect with Lucifer as well. Like, she no longer, I guess, feels as frightened by this entire concept. This entire concept. It sounds like I said this entire concept.
In the background of a photo.
Did you get a look at the killer?
Oh my gosh. Did he not realize he was doing that? Was he just taking a selfie? Then he went back and looked and was like, oh wow. Imagine seeing that in the background of a selfie that you took. Like, you're just posting it on IG like, hey guys.
It's like a movie prop or something.
No. Can't be.
What do you mean can't be?
Is it the sword?
Movie prop. Those things are rubber, aren't they?
I'm not the sword, but whatever that thing was, Uriel's dagger. Is that Uriel's dagger?
But why? Uriel's body is still there.
Yes, but Azrael's blade isn't.
So it's called Azrael's blade. So if that thing can kill Uriel with one stab, that dude was definitely doing overkill. Unless it works different on humans.
In human hands, Azrael's blade wants to kill?
So does that mean the blade just influenced that guy to do all that? Like, that's why she said we can work this out, right? The blade must have just taken over him and just made him want to kill. Similar to like the Mark of Cain on Supernatural, maybe.
It takes
like, I just owe you $5. He's like, must kill.
Amplifies it 1,000-fold.
So someone leaves a toilet seat up.
Trip to Stabby Town, yes.
There's the title.
That's one angry ass knife.
Off each other all the time.
No, Maze, you don't understand.
It's not for natural reasons.
This will accelerate. Passing from human to human, leaving an unimaginable trail of destruction in its wake.
Sounds like something we know of today.
Favor is to do it for free, okay? And then you just trust. The love will come back to you somehow. Favors are about faith.
Oh, please don't ruin favors for me. No, come on, insist. Tit for tat.
Ella.
Fine.
What a pure soul.
Oh, wow. Now I'm intrigued.
I mean, it might be a little inappropriate among colleagues.
Where is this going? Obviously not where Lucifer thinks. Is Chloe jealous? Like...
Oh, no. Fine. You have a deal. Gosh, you're a nasty little nerd, aren't you?
What did she say? I mean, like, knowing Lucifer's charm, I guess she could have potentially actually been saying something, suggestive. But, I just get the feeling that she wasn't. Like, I feel like she probably just said something completely
Here we are.
off the wall.
Right, whilst you do that, I'll get back to the detective. Oh, and remember.
Yeah, don't tell anyone about your super creepy non-grave grave. Got it.
Chloe's gonna be like, so what were y'all talking about? And then Lucifer's gonna have to say, oh, nothing. And then Ella's gonna have to say nothing. And Chloe's gonna be like, suspicious, what's going on?
I'm sorry, the glory what?
The glory hole.
The Glory Way,
Yeah.
developed by our guru, Johnson
The glory hole.
A true light.
What about petty grievances? Perhaps Maddie drank someone's probiotic smoothie or did one too many peacock poses for someone's taste? No, just
It's
think.
a
There must
fair
be
thing to
some
ask.
little
I don't know why
disagreements.
Chloe's rolling
So
her
why don't you
eyes.
write us up a list?
Even if you don't know about a magical blade, it's still fair to say, okay, somebody could have had a petty grievance with them, but this person was mentally ill and actually took it way too far.
That's not the profile of the murderer we're investigating.
I'm just being thorough.
Who cares?
Detective, like you said, shake the bushes until the truth flies free.
I don't think I've ever said that before.
No? Ah,
Maybe it was Ella.
perhaps in
Yep,
that case.
it was Ella.
Great ideas come in the shower.
For me, it's usually women. Any progress so far?
Damn straight.
Oh, snap. That was, I love it when shows find ways to, like, you know, do that. Because they wouldn't really be able to say that on, like, I think this is TV 14 and it was on Fox at the time. So I love it when they manage to find a way to, like, say something with an innuendo that they really shouldn't or wouldn't be able to say on network television.
Did someone find the blade?
Oh, so you admit that you led a human to it?
Well, not a human, more like 10.
10?
Maybe 12, but 15.
What is wrong with you?
Only my cracks.
You know how many people traipse through there each week?
Well, I don't know. Your bedroom, then?
Worse.
Yes, you are sexually prolific.
Words.
So a choice. Willingly help me get the blade back, or I'll send Maze over here to give you some inspiration.
So Tom Ellis has this way of, you know, getting into his Lucifer eyes and Lucifer face. Not referring to when they go all CGI and he turns red and his eyes go red and all that stuff happens. But he just has this way of getting this look in his eye that is so piercing and so commanding in a way that you actually can sense, okay, this is Lucifer right here. Because a lot of times, you know, he's playing this suave guy that's kind of laid back, telling jokes and whatnot. And it's a different take on Lucifer, but it's still an interesting one and it still works for really, really well. But it is nice sometimes to see him sort of get that look in his eye where you're like, okay, yep, I can see that this is the guy that was torturing and punishing people for however many millennia. So kudos to Tom Ellis on that. I think he does a really good performance as this Lucifer character.
The break room fridge, my pudding, clearly labeled Dan, it's gone.
Uh-oh.
Not the first time either.
Wow. Do you want me to put some unis on it? Want me to schedule a stakeout?
Well, we all know where this is going now. We all know where this is going. So Dan's gonna get hold of the blade somehow and is gonna end up wanting to take vengeance for his pudding being gone. Oh my gosh.
No reason. They just seem to be spending a lot of time together.
Is someone jealous?
What? No. No way.
Because you can tell Stabs.
Yes, but just look at his stabby mug. Blonde hair, thick neck, which suggests Cro-Magnon strength, just as our dear Ella guesstimated.
Dear Ella.
Where are you going?
Just off to see this Duncan
Dan.
No, we will
Why are
go
you
together,
instigating?
like partners.
Okay, well. They're definitely not subtle.
I got nothing.
Yeah, me neither. Well, your whole skin-tight leather hot body everywhere thing, it's really not that. it's not that great.
Oh my goodness. That was the worst comeback ever. Or maybe the best comeback, actually. Depending on how you look at it.
Yeah, it is. They're here.
Alright, looks like it was the worst one.
What?
Okay, what the heck? That is like a big spot of blood. Like a big handprint of blood. What?
I suppose quite literally.
Whoa. Wow.
Right? Which is when he attacked
Why?
victim number 3. But victim number 3 had
Dude,
defensive wounds
really?
that matched skin flecks under the fingernails of number 4. So I'm thinking Duncan dropped the knife. Okay, number 4 picked it up, right? Attacked number 3 like this.
Okay, whoever wrote this episode was going off. They were like, I'm trying to fit as many sexual jokes in this episode as possible. Like, I feel like they have done so much this episode. Like when you think about it, there have been so like, and I've been noting some of them and haven't even said anything. Like how many times Lucifer's mom referred to Lucifer, you know, or Lucifer and Lucifer's mom both referring to themselves as getting around a lot in that one conversation they had. Like I feel like there was like each of them had like 3 times where they referenced like them having sex or something with people, and like. Obviously there's been all sorts of innuendos. Like this episode just feels like they were like, how many times can we fit sexual jokes into one episode? And of course, Amenadiel talking to Maze about her skin tight bodysuit or whatever. Like it's just, I don't know. That seems to have been the MO for this episode.
4, so I'm thinking Duncan dropped the knife. Number 4 picked it up, right? Attacked number 3 like this. Right, and then at some point, number 5.
Maze is right. Even without Azrael's blade, humans are capricious. Hell, they're willing to trade their souls to lose unsightly tummy fat. So, why should I feel bad? Why should I feel responsible? And
interesting. That is an interesting point, though. Episode by episode, Lucifer becomes more and more human, if you will. Has more humanity, more compassion. He cares about things outside of himself. In this case, I mean, maybe there's a sense of responsibility there just because, you know, he already had the guilt about killing his brother, and then like now he's put that blade out there into the world. And of course, I guess a normal person would definitely feel responsible for that, for, you know, something that they had just used to kill somebody and then they hid somewhere being found and then other people killing people with it. So I can understand Lucifer feeling that way. I don't know if it goes deeper than that though as well. I guess we're gonna find out.
Want what you really, really want.
I want
Where is this going?
a raspberry cream cheese muffin. And
yeah,
and to take this
figured.
thing off.
Oh, expecting twins, are we? Tim.
This dude, is that why he was talking like that? This tense man.
All right.
Come clean with me, or I can't keep this a
What
secret
if Chloe
anymore.
sees them at Lucifer's place
See,
like
that's
this?
just it. What? Oh.
Seemed like the perfect time for Chloe to walk in on them. Yeah, I knew it.
Ella.
LAPD, hands in the air.
Move away from the body, Corinna. Now!
No, Dan's here. Dan's gonna touch the dagger or the blade or whatever. I was wondering when this was gonna come up. Here we go.
Anyone else feeling a murderous urge? No?
Dan is
We need
about
to
to
slice
kill
and dice?
somebody, bro. Or try to, man.
Anyone?
We need to find Dan. Uh-oh. Is it Lucifer that he wants to kill?
Differences in the past, but we're friends now, right?
Oh my goodness.
You ruined my marriage.
Because it was labeled.
Hey. Can Dan fight it?
You're fighting the blade.
He's fighting it.
Which indicates a strength I didn't know you had. Look at me in the eye. Look at me.
He fought the blade.
What are we doing back here?
Good talk.
This man's so confused. He's walking away from the house.
I thought we were partners, but more importantly, friends.
Ella just keeps on walking by at opportune
Is this
times.
about me and Ella in the penthouse? Much as I love to cross professional boundaries, Detective, I can assure you everything you saw was entirely work-related.
Is that the truth?
I mean, yeah, it's technically the truth, but come on now. They did some... We cannot even... It's not like a case where Chloe was just being paranoid. They were doing stuff that was pretty unambiguous, like I said. And then the whole stabbing thing, come on. As if Ella did not see what that looked like, or either of them. There's no way they didn't see what that looked like. I mean, I get that they technically didn't, but in real life, they would have definitely known what that looked like. Come on now.
Always the truth.
But I do want to know what Ella whispered in his ear. I'm sure it was just something really weird,
But you
but
know,
it's
if you
not
ever did want to
sexual
cross
at all.
boundaries into partnered friends who hang out naked,
Okay.
and business to attend to, are you certain that this is the favor that you desire? Because believe me when I say the last 2 times I'd darkened the doorstep of a church, insert blood-soaked carnage here.
Again with the drama. We solved your case. Now I get my favor.
So she asked him to go to church with her?
Somewhere.
With my 2 sons by my side. A united front. Your father will be forced to listen to reason.
Force, Dad. I think human delusion is rubbing off on you, Mother.
Lucy, I can, because I agree with her.
Yeah, I had a feeling Amenadiel would agree because he did just recently say he was tired of taking orders from somebody that wasn't even here. Like, he was showing he was starting to, you know, turn against his father. Now this is really starting to come to fruition.
I thought you were just Team Mum because you couldn't fly her back to hell. Since when did you turn? This is my home!
That,
Deal
oh
with it,
wow.
Mother.
His humanity is really affecting him.
Fine. What's that saying? When my dear husband closes the door, he opens a window. The window just opened.
Uh-oh. Wow. Okay. Man, oh man. I feel like I say this every single time or a lot of the time, but this show is getting really, really good, man. Like, it's almost ridiculous how much better this season is than the last one. And that's not to say that the last one was bad by any means. Especially the latter half. They just did not have their footing nearly as well as they have it here, because they are doing such a good job right now, in my opinion. Like, just the way that they're using all the characters and the way that they're telling this story, I just feel like it's just so good, and I'm really enjoying this show. Okay, first of all, let's just talk about Lucifer and this attachment to humanity that he's been developing. I mean, like, this is really something that has been going on since the first episode, and I think it's been such a great, you know, journey and story that they're telling, and they're telling it in a very methodical and well-paced way, because nothing is happening too quickly, I feel like. But when you think back to where Lucifer was in the first episode compared to the Lucifer that we're seeing right now I'm referring to the character, like, it's a big difference. I mean, and all the things that have happened over the course of the series so far are, you know, contributing to that. Obviously, Chloe is a big piece. And also another thing that I think about, like, in the first episode, like, think about how just Lucifer's effect on women in general. They all, like, just fell at his feet pretty much immediately. Like, all women just loved Lucifer the moment they looked at him, it seemed like. I know they're not just gonna, I know they didn't just keep that up all the way through, because, you know, it would get redundant if every time a woman character came around Lucifer, she started acting like that. It would just get old. But also, you have to wonder, like, I mean, like, does it also have anything to do with the fact that Lucifer is becoming more humane, more human and whatnot? Because also we know that Chloe Decker is making him mortal. And when he's around her, he can actually be hurt and he can actually bleed. Like, there's all these different things and changes that are happening to Lucifer that in the first episode did not affect him. Because remember, in the first episode, he got shot with Chloe right there and he was fine. So this stuff has been, it's been a gradual evolution or de-evolution, if you will, depending on how you want to look at it, depending on whether you're more pro-celestial being or pro-human, you know what I mean? But it's been very interesting to see. And this episode was a great representation of that. Like, you know, first of all, Lucifer is asking that question of, why do I care so much about this blade? Like, at the end of the day, these are just humans. Like, why do I care so much that they're going around killing each other? The argument was brought forth by his mom that they kill each other anyway. Obviously, that's a terrible argument given the fact that they don't usually kill each other under the influence of a celestial object, but still. But Lucifer really cared. He felt responsibility, accountability, maybe even guilt, if you will, over the fact that all these people were dying because of a blade that he had buried and whatnot. The same blade that he had just used to kill his brother, actually. So there was a big indicator of how much more human Lucifer has become, or at least how much more in touch he is with humanity and his humane side. Then at the end, we got like an actual visual manifestation of that when he was getting frustrated with his mother and was holding that blade, and we could see that the blade was starting to impact him the way that it impacts humans. And his mother could see that too. Thus, she said, a window has opened. Plus, Lucifer even said directly at the end of the episode, the only place he feels home is here on Earth. So heaven is hell, and hell is just not home. So Lucifer is pretty much completely starting to go over to the other side, if you will. And Ella's starting to take him to church, it looks like. So that's going to be very interesting to see where that's headed. I have no idea what to expect from that. But all of this stuff together is just making for a very interesting, you know, character arc for Lucifer as a character. And I'm just excited to see where it's going to go next. Then we have Amenadiel and their mom on the total other side, really. Like, I mean, they are... Amenadiel is a... I guess he's a good guy at heart. Like, I mean, we've grown to like him as a character and whatnot. But he is not the same as Lucifer in that although he started to lose all of his power and whatnot, it's not for the same reasons really at all. And like, he is still not in touch with humanity or anything like that. He might act like a human, walk around dressing like a human and intermingle with them and whatnot, but he clearly is still not actually starting to say, okay, I see these as real people that, you know, each of them matter. You know what I mean? He sees them probably similar to the way that Lucifer's mom sees them, because we really see how she sees them. She just sees them as people that, you know, just things that she can use. She can just manipulate them, use them, throw a dagger out there, a blade, make them kill each other so that God will acknowledge her, notice her, and she can try to get back into heaven. She's just seeing them as a plan, as objects to use and whatnot. And it's not surprising that Amenadiel is siding with her, because like I said, he's not in the same mental place as Lucifer. They're not having the same connection to humanity. And Amenadiel, he also has clearly started to have a little bit of doubt or resentment or whatever you want to call it for his father and whatnot. And so now he is totally in line with his mom's plan of a unified front or a united front, whatever she called it, in order to, you know, get God to let them back into heaven and whatnot. So they're very much on opposing sides there. Now, the interesting thing to me here is Maze, she doesn't seem to, you would think she would be, you know, on the Amenadiel mom side, but she almost seems like she's kind of more similar to Lucifer lately. Like, she's been kind of getting more in touch with humanity and things. She's been progressively I mean, obviously she's got a connection with Linda and whatnot. Like, Maze is an interesting character. I'm interested to see where her arc is headed, because right now it seems like she's on a somewhat similar trajectory to Lucifer. It seems like the way she looks at things and sees things and thinks about things might not be the same as Lucifer, because she still doesn't seem to see humans as, like, you know, humans or whatnot just yet, if that makes sense. Kind of, but not in all instances. But just her actions and, you know, the things that she decides to do at the end of the day, it shows that she is starting to look at things beyond just, you know, these are just things around, and I'm a celestial being, or I'm a demon, I guess in her case. She's a demon, but still. So she's starting to see things differently than that. And it's really interesting. So I'm really interested to see where Maze's arc is going to go, because I feel like right now it's kind of almost one of the least predictable, or least not understandable, but yeah, just least predictable ones. Because, you know, I'm like, this is interesting. She seems to be a little bit more humane too. I wonder if this might lead to like a Amenadiel and mom versus Lucifer and Maze type dynamic. I guess we'll see. But I think that all that is very, very interesting. And this episode was just really fun altogether. I mean, I talked about how funny all those jokes were throughout the episode. Like, it's like they just wanted to throw in as many innuendos as they possibly could. Yeah, some of the stuff that happened in this episode was a little predictable. Like, you could kind of get a sense of where most things were headed or whatnot. But I don't think that took away from the episode any at all, because like I said, they still did it so well. And all the things that happened along the way were just so either interesting, funny, dramatic, that it was just really well done. Like the Lucifer and Ella thing, and Chloe being jealous of them. Yeah, I mean, that's something we've seen a lot before. Like, I mean, we've seen characters have that type of misunderstanding going on, where it looks like one thing to another character, and they just keep on walking in at opportune or inopportune times and saying something that like, I mean, yeah, that's been done a million times before. But that's the strength of the show. That's when you know you've got a strong show, when you can do things that have been done a million times before, but it's still entertaining and it still is done well because you're using the characters so well and you developed the characters so well. So it felt like in this case, seeing Chloe being so jealous about Lucifer and Ella, it was really interesting because it's not really something that we've seen. It's not a side of Chloe that we've seen a lot before, you know? And it also really pretty much confirms to us, okay, there's definitely some extra feelings there that Chloe has for Lucifer. If you didn't already know that, like, this pretty much confirms that. So I felt like that was just they just did such a good job of portraying that and just making it so funny in how they did it and whatnot. And also Ella this episode, speaking of her, oh my gosh, I loved Ella this episode. Like I said, since the first time she showed up on the show, I think she's going to be big. And I feel like this episode was just one more step towards that. Like I feel like Ella's, I don't know, but by the end of the show or whatnot, I feel like Ella's going to be a standout character. So Dan being able to fight the dagger, that was such a cool moment too. Like Dan, I said a few episodes ago, maybe towards the beginning of this season, that I kind of felt like he was the weakest link so far because it was starting to feel like he didn't have much to do. After last season, you know, towards the end of the season, his whole thing with Malcolm started to become one of the best parts of the season. Then it felt like at the beginning of this season, Dan was in a bit of a limbo, you know what I mean? And the season had gotten really good. The show had really progressed and developed, but it still felt like Dan was kind of left behind. But now, these last few episodes, Dan has really been starting to get his time to shine too. So I feel like this episode, especially like that moment with Dan being able to fight the dagger and kind of the character growth that you could see in that he's not even going to remember, but he is going to feel. I felt like that was very poignant, very powerful, and it was a great moment for Dan's character. And again, that's another example. It was one of those situations where like, yeah, you could totally see coming what was about to happen to Dan with the dagger, but it wasn't like cheesy, you know what I mean? Like a lesser show might have, like, you know, we saw the whole thing with Dan and the pudding and you're like, oh my gosh, here we go, he's gonna get the dagger, he's gonna get the blade, and he's gonna, like, yeah, duh, obviously. And a lesser show would have just taken that, had Dan been about to, you know, try to attack somebody and then somehow he stopped and, you know, we're like, oh yay, all is right with the world. We were scared of Dan for like 5 minutes there, but he's fine now. That would have been a lesser show. But this show managed to then take that situation, you know, and take it a little bit further, you know what I mean? Actually use it as a moment for character growth for Dan, and also to show us how strong of a character that Dan is and the willpower that he had to, despite the fact that he's just a human, to fight the powers of that blade. And that's a really cool thing. So again, it might have been a predictable setup or situation that we've seen a bunch of times, but they did it so well and it was such a good payoff for the characters. So kudos. So moving forward, I'm looking forward to seeing what Lucifer and Amenadiel's mom is going to do with this window that just opened up. Can't wait to see where that's headed. Obviously, she's got some stuff in store. It's starting to look like she might end up being the main villain of this season, you know, if she just kind of keeps on going on this route of, you know, being nefarious and manipulative and kind of working against Lucifer in a way. So that'll be very interesting. I have no idea what to expect. So can't wait to see where it's headed. Until then, go ahead and leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought about this episode. Like the video if you liked it. Subscribe if you want to see more. If you're watching on YouTube, go ahead on over to Patreon if you want to see the full uncut reactions and also get them a little bit earlier from where they're posted here on YouTube, a few weeks earlier. So thank you for watching and have a good day, I guess.